Hey, everybody, Luke Robinson with Locked On Bama, somewhat of an emergency podcast and an emergency hat. I got a airbrush Locked On Bama hat from my lovely bride while we're down. When you're in Orange Beach, you have to do as the Orange Beachians do. And so got me a Locked On Bama airbrushed hat and going to talk a little Mohamed Wague and a little Cam Coleman here in a second.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama. Luke Robinson, that's me. Jimmy Stein, that's normally am. But today, I'm just going solo just for a minute because we are doing just sort of an emergency pod. Jimmy is in Oklahoma, of all places. He is watching a niece, I think, do some rodeo stuff. I don't know. It's hard to say. It doesn't matter, though, because I'm here, and I want to talk about Mohamed Wague, who is committed to Alabama's basketball team. And I'm trying to get this to join me live here to talk Mohamed Wague. Y'all just give me a second here. I should have done all this before, but it doesn't matter. Mohamed Wague from West Virginia. He is committed to Alabama now. This is a very, very, very nice pickup. I think Alabama is going to be happy with this guy. Look, he's sort of a rim protector, just a big guy. Look, I'm going to put a picture up of him right now. You can see rather muscle bound. And I think this is good. The team needed somebody like this, with Charles Bediako gone, and needed somebody else that can step in and protect the rim just a hair. Alabama's needed that. Look, they don't have – it's great they get Grant Nelson, but this guy, you need somewhat of an enforcer. It's great they still have Nick Pringle, but they needed somebody like this. If you ask me, he's not going to be a game changer. Only averages about 4 points a game, half a block a game, 3 rebounds a game. But we need the fouls. That's what we need. And, again, look at him. He's a strong dude. Look at him here. He's obviously got some hops. And I feel like this is a really nice pickup to end the game. And I'm sorry, as my dog is going nuts. Let me see here what the heck is going on. Zeta, you got to hush. I'm sorry. But I'm going to go to the door here in just a second if my dog will ever hush. But Wague is a good pickup for Alabama, if you ask me. So really happy about that. But what I really wanted to talk about was Cam Coleman, and I'm going to have to go check this out. All right, sorry about that. We're changing air filters in the condo. Isn't that good timing? So very sorry about that. But what I really wanted to talk about was Cam Coleman. This is a guy who's at Central Phoenix City. Again, for people who just joined us, there's my hat, Locked On Bama airbrush hat. You got to dig that a little bit, right? So Cam Coleman commits to Texas A&M over Auburn, over a couple other schools, over LSU, I think, was in the mix. Clemson was in the mix. Alabama wasn't. I think this is monster news. ESPN had it had him as a 5-star. Just about everybody has him as a 5-star. Cam Coleman is a fantastic player. He's the number 8 player for ESPN. He's top 10 for some other services as well. And I just think this is a monster blow to Auburn. Now, their moderators are saying it's not that big a deal. Yada, yada, yada. But I'm going to tell you right now, this guy, to me, is very good. I got to see him play basketball last year for Central Phoenix City. Just a tremendous athlete. He didn't, if I remember right, he didn't start for Central Phoenix City. But when he came in, I mean, it was like, here's another just incredible athlete. Central Phoenix City is known for their athletes, by the way, if you haven't seen them before. They are really, really good and athletic on the basketball court. Football-wise, they obviously are too. Alabama just got a commitment from and I'm going to pronounce his name right. Jimmy and I were saying Isaiah Faga. That is incorrect. It's Fanga, like Tua Tagovailoa. And I can't remember how to say his first name anymore. I was going to try and look it up real quick, but I can't look it up. But Cam Coleman to Texas A&M, it says a few things. I mean, of course, first of all, the first thing people say is Texas A&M must have dropped a bag to get this kid. Maybe they did. But it's legal now, so everybody needs to quit worrying about that quite so much. I mean, did they do it in a illegally legal way or whatever, legally illegal way? It doesn't make a dang. It's the Wild West. We all know it. Deal with it. And the guy wasn't even really seriously considering Alabama, which hurts my heart because I think he's going to be really good. There's some folks who think he's going to be a headache. I do not. I like Cam Coleman a lot. I think what this is going to do is put a lot of pressure on Auburn to get Perry Thompson now. And Alabama's going to have to be concerned about Perry Thompson for a while. He's probably going to Big Cat. Everybody out there saying, oh, he's definitely going to Alabama or he's definitely going to Auburn. I don't think there's any doubt Perry Thompson doesn't know exactly where he's going to go yet. I mean, we can put percentages on it. If I had to put a percentage, I'd say 55-45 Alabama. But I think it's up in the air. I don't think anybody knows for sure. Even if you say you know for sure and he ends up going to that school, you didn't know for sure right now. There's no way because I don't think Perry Thompson knows himself. I'm hoping Alabama can hold on to him. I think what this speaks bigger to, the bigger issue is, we all thought, and I still believe Hugh Freeze coming to Auburn is going to make Auburn a more viable place to go for a lot of big prospects. But losing this one is a big one, if you ask me. It's a big problem for Auburn. I mean, I've been hearing about the new sheriff in town. Things are going to change. This is a guy a lot of people consider to be an Auburn lock. A lot of things can change. Obviously, a long way to signing day. Texas A&M, the bottom could fall out. Their schedule is pretty difficult. They've got, obviously LSU, Alabama, Auburn on the schedule. They've also got to go to Tennessee. They've got to go to Miami. A lot of things could happen. They've got Bobby Petrino there at offensive coordinator. That could either work out magnificently or fail magnificently, one of the two. And so when all that happens, maybe Cam Coleman changes his mind. Maybe he goes back to Auburn or something like that. But for the moment, this is not a good PR look for Auburn specifically. But I also think it's something interesting that Texas A&M was able to come into the state of Alabama and get a 5-star player. So I don't think Alabama should overlook that. Even though Cam Coleman wasn't necessarily looking at Alabama, he didn't have them in the top 5 or top 7 or whatever top he put out there. And I quit paying attention because he didn't have Alabama in it. But the fact that A&M could come in and get this guy from Central Phoenix City when they hadn't shown the propensity to do that before. We've seen Clemson come in and get a guy. Okay, if LSU came and got an Alabama guy, usually it's from the Mobile area, but we understand. I mean, Baton Rouge closer to Mobile than it is to Tuscaloosa. So we get that, right? But A&M's a long way away. I went to the game a couple years ago. Trust me, College Station is a long way away from Birmingham. I know Central Phoenix City, it's even further away from Central Phoenix City. It's on the eastern side of the state. So, yeah, Texas A&M coming in to get this guy, it does make a statement. You want to say they dropped a bag? Don't care. Again, doesn't bother me at all. We all play that game, Alabama too, so we need to get off that high horse. But Alabama could be getting some good news here shortly. Sorry about my dog barking in this. I mean, just as luck would have it, a lady comes in to change the deadgum air filters or whatever at this condo while I'm doing this. I was just going to try and throw this together before I go down to the beach myself with my airbrushed hat. This is the only merch I have for Locked On Bama. So I'm hoping somebody will notice and say, hey, I really like you guys, or hey, I hate you guys. As long as you're listening, I don't care. But roll tide, everybody. Just wanted to throw this together because Jimmy's unavailable. Didn't want to leave everybody hanging. We're trying to keep things rolling. We don't want you to think Alabama, Locked On Bama is going anywhere. We will be back shortly, maybe with a podcast today about some more of this. But this is just Christopher Rogers said, did you give Fido a CBD? First of all, the dog's name is Zayda, Zayda, which is like Arabic for lucky or something like that. I can't remember. My wife came up with it. And yes, we have been giving the dog some CBD treats. She needs them horribly. This dog has anxiety, which I didn't know dogs had anxiety unless it was thunderstorming or fireworks were going off. This dog has anxiety all the time. So it acts really tough whenever the doorbell rings. And when the person comes in, she's out of here. So she's got a lot of problems. Anywho, just like me. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sorry about the dogs and the doorbells and all that. Really am sorry about that. So hopefully you got a little bit of something out of this. But we will be back with more Locked On Bama very shortly. Until then, roll tide, everybody.